Hey there, today I will show you how you can build a new badge, kind of like this one, that automatically gets removed once you visit a certain feature in your application using Frigade and React. Let's get started. So we're starting here with a very simple Next.js and React template. This is just a sort of a default SaaS dashboard, what have you. And what we want to do here is build a badge that shows new because we built this new calendar feature, I guess. And we want to make sure that that gets clicked off or removed when I actually visit the new page. So what I did here is I installed the Frigade SDK. If you don't have that installed yet, you can find a link under this video on how to do that. So I've already set that up in this video though, so we're going to skip that. So what I'll show you here is that I created this simple React component called new badge, and right now it doesn't do much else than just apply a bunch of styling from Tailwind and then write the word new next to it. Great. So let's just see what that looks like. So that looks like this. Great. But a big problem here is that this keeps saying new, and that's kind of annoying, right? So I want to get rid of that as soon as the user visits this page, but I want to not just do that using local storage, because if the user signs in on a new device or in a different browser, it's going to keep saying new. And I would also like to see how many users have actually checked out this feature. And we're going to use Frigade for that. So what we're going to do is that we're going to take this component and make it really smart. So what I've done over here, over in Frigade, is that I've created a new component using create flow custom. And I've just put in some very simple configuration here. The YAML here can be fully configured on custom components to be whatever you want. And you can access all this data directly in React from the backend here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave this as is, and then we're going to want to link this flow to this component. And the way we do that is by copying this flow ID here and then import the Frigade SDK. So let's get started here. So the first thing we'll do is that we're just going to define a constant called flow ID. That. And then we are going to, you can see GitHub Copilot already knows what we want to do here. We're going to import the use flow hook from Frigade. And then what we want to do is that we also want to import the path name from Next.js. This will allow us to see which page we're on currently in this component. So we got this in here now. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a null check and just not write anything if the flow fails to come in. And if not, what we'll do is we'll also check if the flow is visible, because Frigade, once a user has seen the flow and it's marked completed, it will be marked as not visible. So we're going to put this stuff in here too. Great. So what we got now is that this is now linked to this flow over here in the dashboard. So what we'll do now is we're going to see this first step. We're going to ask the first step in the YAML. So first step, badge. This name comes from here, so it has to match that. Flows can have multiple steps, but they can also just have one step, like in this case. So what we'll do is that we're going to access this, and then we're going to start it. What this will do is, as soon as a user sees this badge, it will be marking the flow as started in Frigade. And that's really useful because you can see who has actually seen this badge and who has actually checked out the feature. So if this works as we expect it to, we should see over here, if I refresh this, that this user has now, which is just me, seen this. So let's see, yep, in progress, 0 of 1 steps completed. Great. So we got that working now, so that's cool. So one thing I want to do now is I want to actually not hard code this string right here. I want to actually pull that dynamically from the Frigade API. So what I'll do is I'm going to actually access the title here using this, and you can see this here matches this over here. So let's write something, let's put some exclamation marks on it and save it. What we should see now is refresh this, that there's now exclamation marks here, and that means that this is now being pulled into here. So that's great. Let's just go and change that back to just saying new. Great. Awesome. So we're almost done here. Now all we have left to do is to make sure that once a user actually sees this, then we want to mark this as completed. And the way we do that is that we're just going to click on, or we're going to click on Visual Studio, code, and then what we're going to do is say if path name is calendar, then complete the step, and then return null. So if this works now, it should actually disappear once I click on this. So let's see if that works. And it's gone. Perfect. So let's check over here in the dashboard. This should now say completed, and it does. And we can just try to, what we can try to do here is reset ourselves. Like that. And then come back here, refresh this, and then you'll see now that this is new again.